So here I want to show you that you have the ability now to do a great deal of things. You just don't know it yet. I mean, we've added two forms together, made them look like they're attached, but they're really not. I mean, well, they are, but you know what I'm saying. Like physically in the physical world, they're not attached because these would have screws in them and some way to make them so they're attached. But in all actuality, they look pretty attached here in Maya. Now, also, keep in mind, not every form is attached to everything. Okay, don't do that. One, you should always separate it upon the ideas. This is a nice form. Maybe I should leave it alone and leave it as many polys as it is, and then add a new form to it. That being said, I also want it to look functional. Okay, so let's go in here and say, put an edge here and here. If I was to put a scope on this thing, I would want the ability to make it look like there is something to attach the scope to. So I would probably go in here and take faces and extrude them up a little bit. This is something that could rest inside the scope and make it look like it's attached a little bit better. Nice. The same stands true with, let's say, like the stock. How would the stock attach to this thing? Well, if I was to attach a stock, it would probably need a hole in this area, or at least a bump into it. So let's look at mine just for an example. Here I placed a hole in the side so the stock would go in. Also, I made the handle part of this object. Okay. Alright, so what if I needed to blend another form together? One that didn't attach. I mean, like, wasn't part of the same solid chunk. Well, this is where I would worry about how it's going to attach, with the function of it. So right now I'm just going to do something very simple like this. Maybe this is too hard. Maybe the idea of having it come into this form right here would be a little weird. So instead of that, I'm going to choose to make this form a little bit different. Is this too thick? Maybe I could thin this down just a little bit, which enables this to be thinned down just a little bit. I'd say that looks a little bit more balanced. Remember, by the time I put that handle on the front, it's going to add some pretty big girth to the weapon. So here's an example here. I want to section off this new hole, so I want to make sure that I have some kind of loop in here. So one, sure enough I do. And if you're going to do this, I would highly suggest you use one. I wouldn't use the auto smooth feature and then try to insert the edge loop. So I'm going to extrude this just a little bit and then extrude it in. So this is where the butt of the rifle is going to come in. And that little piece of detail right there is going to help you out quite a bit. See how things are starting to act weird? Delete by tape history. We'll start straightening that out so it doesn't act so odd. And right now we have this object that if I smooth it, if I hit 3 on the keyboard, it has this shape. And this shape here, if I hit 3, doesn't produce that same shape. Now it does. And now fitting this into here looks a lot nicer. And I can use the vertice at this, since it's such a low piece of polygons, low polygonal shape, I can go in here and shape that to fit that hole quite nicely. And then I just have to worry about shaping the butt of it. Okay, but this is starting to get into the point where I want you to start taking over here. Okay, so please meet me in the next video.